This is definitely not for broadcast. But let's continue, shall we? I've never played this game.
We're still vassals, slaves, we're just in prettier cages.
So let's stand down a little bit more.
We're only getting started.
I tried to stream God of War earlier, but I couldn't get it to work. And if anyone can help me, that would be fucking fantastic. But until then, this is not for broadcast. Let's start. You can use the number keys. I have no idea what this game is. It just looked fun.
Hi, David, I have a call for you. I'm just putting it through. Alright, mate. Dave here. Listen, now, I know you've only come in to clean up the place, but I've got a bit caught up, so, you're gonna have to run the news tonight. Now, don't worry, it's not hard, and I'm gonna stay on the phone and help you. First, I'm gonna give you a quick tour of the broadcast room, so if you're not doing it already, look forwards towards all those screens. Right, look up at the top. That coloured bar is your audience. You want to keep the viewers going up and not down. Underneath that, you've got the screens. The one on the right is the broadcast screen. That's what the viewers are seeing at home. It's only a couple of seconds behind the master screen there in the middle. That's the one you control. Now, the four small screens on the left show the different signals coming from the studio, and you can choose between them using the numbered buttons on the vision mixer at the bottom left. Don't worry, I'll talk you through it and you'll pick it up in no time. Now, have a look to your left. These plugs control everything in the studio. I've left them set up for you, so provided you haven't fiddled with them, all you have to do now is throw the master trip switch and we're in business. Once you've got the power on, face the front again. You can see on the broadcast screen that we're in the end titles for the show before us. Fortunately, they go on for fucking ages, so there's plenty of time for me to explain. Oh, right, okay, they're over, so we haven't got long now till the broadcast. Right, quickly, mate, look down under the desk. You can see a load of videotapes on the left. They're your adverts. Pick any three and load them into the machines on the right. When you've done that, look up to the front again.
Let's do that.
The Shape of Man, which tonight looks at the history of the New York soul and its importance during the Great Blackouts of 1871. Not one to miss. At 9 p.m, sit back and relax with multiple award-winning movie, The Freedom of Being Colin, taking us all the way up to 11:15, where, as usual,
Prawn and mayonnaise?
You don't see
Right, quick as you can, select screen one.
and tonight
every day. You offer me prawns every day.
10 seconds, everybody. That's how I show love.
You're trying to kill it.
And yet you persist, going bye.
But now, it's time to join Jeremy Donaldson.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main stories tonight.
Okay,
Moving on
all
up.
good.
The election
Next
win
is going to be
that
to throw
also
the
said
news titles on screen 2. There'll be a countdown, but I'll count you in as well. Just relax, mate. It's all gravy.
Buys Honest Andy's Totally Independent. Buys Honest Andy's Totally Independent. And corners the flowered market. Top celebrators, sports fans everywhere. Johnny celebrators, wins sports personality of the year. And a spoonful of sugar. Megan will be chatting with movie star Lawrence Brundleclatch about his new movie, The Medicated. And, of course, we'll be going live to Advance Headquarters to hear what the leaders of this fledgling party have to say on their historic...
Right. Button 2 in 3. Bit early there, mate.
national...
Next thing is to throw back to Jeremy with button 1 when that globe in the middle shrinks down and vanishes.
We're gonna do makeup.
Seriously, Electric Blonder Clutch on Electron Noise?
Yeah, Megan's cool.
Blonder Clutch on Electron Noise?
Yeah, Megan's
Hi, I'm liking this.
Here it comes. Switch to screen 1. Now. Lovely, mate.
But first, the votes are in, and it's a decisive win for advance. The landslide.
Listen, mate, we often get a bit of interference around this time of night, so keep your eye on the machine on the bottom right. You can move that white dot up and down, avoiding the interference using the yellow knob or your scroll wheel.
Of a severe lack of actual policies and of being deliberately vetted. The opposition parties have all conceded defeat to Advance's overwhelming mandate, but have yet to appear publicly.
Right, it's going well. All you've got to do now is play the advert at the end of the segment. Make sure you don't play it too early or we'll all get fired. Now the clock at the top is counting you down to the advert. When it reaches 0, press one of the 3 play ad buttons over there at the bottom right. I normally play the first one at the first break and so on, but you can play them in any order you want. I'll count you into it as well, but keep your eye on the clock.
We'll be going live. Is accepted.
And 3, 2, 1, advert.
1 minute back, everybody. I need you to fill up to the odds.
What? Why?
Wanker Snatch is running late.
Oh,
Thought I'd ask him about
Legend
the
Johnny
election.
Hamsley.
personally, I wouldn't try to
I'm
confuse him
not
with
bad.
any big words.
You are.
That's the same policy.
Don't worry, ladies.
I thought that
now
was
you
our
can
little
have me,
secret.
Johnny Hamsley, right there.
Damn right, Johnny
I'm deeply
Hamsters.
uncomfortable with your
Wicked. We made it to the first ad break. You're doing great, mate. But this is where it starts getting a bit trickier. This next sequence is what we call a multicam sequence, because you're going to be cutting between multiple cameras to keep things interesting. A lot of it's down to personal taste, but here's 3 good rules of thumb. 1. Try and keep the shot on whoever is doing the talking. 2. Don't stay on the same shot for too long, 10 seconds at the most. So if you're on the person who's talking, try and throw in the odd reaction shot or pull out to the wide shot for a bit just to keep it interesting. 3. Don't stay on reaction shots for too long. A couple of seconds is usually enough. Then the audience want to see who's doing the talking, yeah? Stick to these rules and you'll be fine. It's not as complicated as it sounds. You've seen programs on television, haven't you? Make it look like those. Might as well get screen 1 selected now. No need to wait for the broadcast to start. Try and stay ahead, mate.
Quiet in the studio.
Thank you so much.
10 seconds, everybody.
With Johnny Hamsley.
5, 4, 3.
Act now, fatty.
Welcome back
Screen
to
1, Jeremy.
Welcome back. Later we'll be hearing from shock election winners Advance. But first
Get
off,
ready to go to Megan on screen 4.
is here with a star of both stage and screen. Megan?
Thank you, Jeremy. Megan Wolf, culture correspondent. And today I have a guest who starred in everything from Shakespeare
Right,
to the
go to
shop
Blunderclatch on screen 3 when she says his name.
by none other than Lawrence Blunderclatch. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, my dear, I do hope you believe me when I tell you that being with you today is a long...
Switch to 2 for the wide now.
May I say, having you here with us is among ours.
Right, now just try and stay on whoever's talking.
Latest movie, which is called The Medicated.
The medicated, yes.
Wow, what was that like?
Well, as I said to Peter at the Wrap, that's Peter Jensen, the director. Do you know him?
Give us a look at Megan's reaction.
He really is. I've worked with
Lovely.
him
Now
so
back
many
to Thunder
times.
Twat.
I said to Peter, what a wild ride this has been. And you know what, Megan? I really meant that.
Wow, that is fantastic. And am I right in saying that the character you play in this movie is quite an academic one?
Absolutely right. A scientist.
Was that a challenge at all?
What exactly are you implying? But seriously, yes, you're right. It was a complete departure from my last starring role when I played Sergeant Brock Rockman in Bullet Man. You'll remember that that was the true story of one soldier's fight for a love that surpasses all others. A love, of course, for freedom. I think it's grossed over $1 billion, but obviously who's counting?
It's a role that saw you scoop 2 Best Actor awards, if I remember correctly.
So sweet of you to mention it. But I really am not in it for the awards, although those 3 little statues do take pride of place on my mantelpiece.
with all the others, I'm sure. So, if you're not doing it for the awards, what is it then that drives you?
That's a beautiful question, Megan, and not easy to answer. Like you, I'm afraid.
Aw.
Cut me, and I will bleed. And often, that's how it feels, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Bleeding, giving, suffering for one's all.
She looks very uncomfortable and I love it.
I suppose in the end, I do it for the difference it makes. I do it for the people that I inspire, the little people. But most of all, I think I do it for the positive change that I can bring about in the world.
She's like, this guy's bullshit! I love it!
We're in for some real change, it looks like, in the coming few months. What do you make of this historic election result?
Oh, well.
Election.
Well, now you're asking. Historic election result. Historic is the word. Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Very difficult. But I think I've always been quite clear that when it comes to politics, one should always strive to not fuck things up.
Shit, he swore. Oh, well, don't worry, he won't do it again.
Sorry, I said fuck.
Shit, he did it again. Okay, don't panic. I'll explain how to deal with swearing at the break.
Medicated, which opens next week.
Right, they've swapped the shot of Jeremy on screen 1 for a VT of the movie clip. You'll get a countdown on the screen, but I'll just let Megan cue you in.
My character, Dr. Lance Hemlock, is faced with a decision that could affect humanity's very survival.
Exciting stuff.
Who cares about election shit?
And we're out.
Go to the film clip, screen 1. Watch out for that interference, mate.
Mr. Blundercatch, I understand you're upset, but we can...
Oh, it's like another collection who's in the studio. I'd love to do what he's saying, but don't switch to it now. You can go to the archive when the broadcast's done. We keep everything.
I don't know that.
No, we mustn't. Think of Kim. Her hair look nice.
Flanagan.
Got back right when she got pimp slapped!
Did it for you, baby. All for you.
Dr. Hemlock.
I'm gonna change the world, you know? I'm gonna listen to you.
Dr. Hemlock.
You told me, but I didn't listen.
Doctor.
I'm drowning, Lance, you said.
You need to see this.
No, it's all too late.
Look at this!
The virus. The sterility. This formula. This is the key.
Stop it all.
Yes!
At the end of the clip, you'll want to play another ad. Remember to use the clock at the top to count you in.
If we should.
Right, I guess I better explain how to deal with bleeping out swear words. As you've probably noticed, the broadcast screen, here, is about 2 seconds behind the master screen, here. When someone says a naughty word, the bleep button lights up, like this. 2 seconds later, you'll hear that swear word going out on the broadcast, and you need to hold down the bleep button or the spacebar on your keyboard for as long as the swear word lasts. It can take a bit of practice getting used to hearing 2 things at once. Just stay calm and you'll get it. And if you can't tell when to bleep, just above the button, you'll literally be able to see the sound scrolling by. All you gotta do is hold it down while the red bit is over the red line. Simple. Of course, if you do it by eye, you'll have to take your eye off the screens. That's why real professionals do it by ear. Most people like to have the volume of the broadcast screen a little bit below the master screen. Let's set it now.
Loosely.
As you turn it up, you'll hear the advert getting louder.
Plus
Good. You're set to start censoring. Like I say, it takes a little practice, but I'll try and help you through it, and soon we'll have you bleeping like a pro. Remember,
I
button
bleep like a
lights up,
fucking pro all the time.
2, and hold it down. Remember to select screen 1 now that you've got the feed. Don't wait for the broadcast to go live. That's too late. You can use the number buttons on your keyboard. 1 to 4.
running the country. Seriously?
We've had worse. 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. And I'm told we can now go live to Advance Headquarters, where the two leaders, Peter Clement and Julia Salisbury, are about to make their acceptance address.
Oh shit, he's pissed.
Shall I start?
Go for it, Pat. You're bleeping normal stuff.
Thank you all for coming, and, well, where do I start? What a day.
They said we couldn't do it.
They certainly did.
They used every dirty low-down...
It's green.
Teal.
Nice. You saw right through their shite.
I'm sorry about the language there.
Sorry about that. I've had a couple of celebratory pints. Makes me coarser than the grown is funny.
Memorably put.
Hold it down for
But to be honest, who can blame Peter for celebrating? Throughout the campaign, political party. A party's what you have when things are going well. When the country is suffering, you don't need a party. You need a team. A team that can change things. But today is day one of a new future. A better, fairer future.
Been on that shot a bit
So
long.
perhaps we should all be celebrating.
Except for the rich. For them, the party's over. They shouldn't be celebrating. They should be putting their shitting pants on and opening their dusty checkbooks.
Again, colourfully put, but not inaccurate. Before we came out here to address the nation, we used our executive powers to pass the Assets and Wealth Act. Working with the tax office, we have produced a definitive list of every person in the country with wealth into the millions.
You know this sort of... Probably you rather you don't. Because the likes of you and me are not welcome in their gated communities.
Tomorrow, we will be introducing a sweeping reform of the tax system in this country. No more hiding wealth offshore, no more trust funds or creative accounting. A simpler, fairer, unavoidable set of tax laws.
So, all you bastard public school snobs have got nowhere to hide.
Down a bit long there,
Earlier today, we revoked your passports. You want
back to us
back? You want to leave like you threatened before the election? That's fine. But first, you're going to pay up. You're going to pay back.
Advance are going to turn this country from a nation of warring individuals into warring individuals, to properly fund health and education, to raise the living standards of us all.
The pundits said we'd have to raise billions, but you'll see when we've reclaimed what's ours, that's absolute ferret shite. So to you posh twats,
The people who pay you a pittance to serve them drinks in their private clubs, the people whose children you raise.
so they've got time to get even fucking richer.
Advance have this to say to you.
It ends today.
We are coming for your sports cars and your mansions and your vineyards.
Huh.
It ends
So they're
today.
against rich
We will
people?
put the wealth of this country back where it should have always been. In the hands of the people who created it.
It ends today.
Yes, it ends today. And tomorrow, we'll start making it fair again. Just like we promised we would.
And until then, ladies and gents, I suggest we all get pissed.
I can't argue with that. Thank you for your time.
Well, an interesting acceptance speech there from the leaders of Advance. And our apologies for the fruity language. Hopefully we got that bleeped out for you in time. If not, someone's going to be in trouble. So, as the country braces itself for new government, that's all from us this evening at the National Nightly News. We'll be back tomorrow with full coverage of the first day under Advance. I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Have a peaceful night.
Right, looks like you've got it now. Thanks for the help, mate. I've got to go. Ferry's about to leave. Probably won't be coming back. Job's yours, mate. Good luck.
Old boring politics then.
Is this some weird fever dream? Am I dying now or something?
You should be so lucky. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Not coming for a drink?
No, got a date.
Lucky you. Try not to get murdered.
My editing was fucking on point.
Alright, mate, I've left you a voicemail. can see what you did and how it looked to the public. As you can see, there's 3 sections to the archive. Broadcasts, that's what you've put out. Rushes, which is all the stuff that was on all the screens. And adverts, which is any advert that you've chosen to show. So let's have a look at the broadcasts. Okay, on the left you can see all the broadcasts that you've done. You can also get to hear from the main menu if you don't actually want to do a broadcast, you just want to see some of your past work. Select any of those and click load tape. Why not watch what you just
in a few
did?
moments, we'll
When
be
you're
going
done,
live
hit
to
back.
tonight's national nightly news. But before that, let's take a look at what's coming up later on tonight on Channel 1. At 7 o'clock, it's the semi-final of the quotation game, and it's a nail-biting quiz tonight as a team of nuclear physicists take on 4 old ladies from East Grinching. That's followed at 8 p.m. by award-winning documentary series The Shape of Now, which tonight looks at the history of the knee-length sock and its importance during the Great Blackouts of 1871. Not one to miss. At 9 p.m, sit back and relax with multiple award-winning movie The Freedom of Being Colin, taking us all the way up to 11:15, where, as usual, Dr. Adrian Atkinson Blimey will be grilling his guests in Incisors, and tonight sees a return for leading economist Katie Brightman. Finally, at midnight, it's the National Weather Report, before we say good night until tomorrow. But now, it's time to join Jeremy Donaldson for the National Nightly News.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main stories tonight. Moving up, the election win that experts said just... Controversy as global mega corporation Remington's Fist buys Honest Andy's Totally Independent and corners the flowered market. Top chat. Sports fans everywhere celebrate as popular footballer Johnny Hamsleeves wins Sports Personality of the Year. And a spoonful of sugar. Meghan will be chatting with movie star Lawrence Blunderclatch about his new movie, The Medicated. And, of course, we'll be going live to Advance headquarters to hear what the leaders of this fledgling party have to say on their historic victory. That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News. Seriously, that prick Blunderclatch on election night?
Yeah, Megan's pretty...
Alright.
Right, click on rushes and let's have a look at those. Okay, these 4 screens, they're exactly the same as the 4 screens that feed you the studio signal when you're doing the actual
Corn and mayonnaise?
You don't see if
The
you make it
difference here is you can
Yeah,
mute
but it
any
might
screen
increase our
you
viewing
like
figures.
or any
every day.
combination of
You offer me
screens,
porn
and you can have a
every
listen
day.
to what's
10
going on
seconds,
behind the
everybody.
scenes.
How I show love.
Just
You're
select
trying to
any
kill.
segment
And yet
that's
you
any
persist.
bit
Going
between
5,
outbreaks over on
4.
the left and hit play. When you're done checking out the
Good
backstage
evening,
sequence,
I'm Jeremy
hit back.
Donaldson. Our main stories tonight. Moving on up, the election win that experts said just couldn't happen. Hopeful or hostile? Controversy as global mega corporation Remington's Fist buys Honest Andy's Totally Independent and corners the flowered market. Top chat. Sports fans everywhere celebrate as popular footballer Johnny Hamsleeves wins Sports Personality of the Year. And a spoonful of sugar. Meghan will be chatting with movie star Lawrence Blunderclatch about his new movie, The Medicated. And, of course, we'll be going live to Advance headquarters to hear what the leaders of this fledgling party have to say on their historic victory. That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
30 seconds back.
Seriously, that prick Blunderclatch on election night?
Yeah, Megan's pretty pissed off too.
I'm not surprised. The bloke with no democracy, he's shutting his cornflakes.
Yeah, but he's hot though.
I suppose so, into oxygen theories.
10 seconds, everybody. Your fragility is leaking. Going in 5, 4, 3.
But first, the votes are in and it's a decisive win for Advance. The landslide victory, with an astonishing 81% of the popular vote, is the biggest election win in living memory. Advance appealed to voters up and down the country with their bold promises of permanent change. But critics have accused him
Apparently, he's been drinking since lunchtime.
Christ, he's a liability at the best of times.
I know. God help whoever has to bleep this. 10 seconds, everybody.
I mean, a lawyer and a TV personality running the country. Seriously?
We've had worse. 5, 4,
A lawyer and a
3.
TV personality, huh?
Welcome back. And I'm told we can now go live to Advance headquarters
That
where the
doesn't
two
sound
leaders,
like a
Peter
recipe
Clement
for
and
failure.
Julia Salisbury, are about to make their acceptance address.
Except it is.
Shall I start?
Go for it, pet.
Okay, let's see what they have to say.
I'm going to hit the source this one. It's green.
Teal.
Oh,
not much.
Team spirit.
Swearing.
Except for the rich, and then the party's over. They shouldn't be celebrating. They should be putting their shittiest bats on the table.
These aren't my cards. Please tell me these aren't my cards.
No, they're the right ones, apparently.
But this gives me nothing, Jenny. They must see that.
Oh no, I think they think he won't have anything to say.
Oh, for God's sake, come on. It's a huge day. He's not an...
Absolute bonehead. I don't care, Rob. I'm not doing it. I agreed to do one beastly interview a day. I made that completely clear when we started. Check my contract.
Hi, I'm Megan.
Oh, piss off. You're on thin, bloody ice, Rob. Whole wheat, man. Whole wheat.
We're coming back from the break. Quiet in the studio.
Thank you so much.
10 seconds, everybody. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Later we'll be hearing from shock election winners Advance, but first our very own culture reporter Megan Wolf is here with a star of both stage and screen. Megan?
Thank you, Jeremy. Megan Wolf, culture correspondent. And today I have a guest who starred in everything from Shakespeare to the Shotbot films. I'm very excited to be joined today by none other than Lawrence Blunderclatch. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, my dear. I do hope you believe me when I tell you that being with you here today is among the greatest joys of my life.
May I say, having you here with us is among ours.
Bless you.
So you've just finished filming your latest movie, which is called The Medicated.
The Medicated, yes.
Wow, what was that like?
Well, as I said to Peter at the Rat, that's Peter Jensen, the director. Do you know him? He's a wonderful chap, he really is. I've worked with him on several movies, all terribly successful. I said to Peter, what a wild ride this has been. And do you know what, Megan? I really meant that.
Wow, that is fantastic. And am I right in saying that the character you play in this movie is quite an academic one?
Absolutely right. A scientist.
Was that a challenge at all?
What exactly are you implying? But seriously, yes, you're right. It was a complete departure from my last starring role when I played Sergeant Brock Rockman in Bullet Man. You'll remember that that was the true story of one soldier's fight for a love that surpasses all others. A love, of course, for freedom. I think it's grossed over $1 billion, but honestly,
I
who's
really
counting?
can't fucking
It's a role that saw you scoop 2 Best
focus
Actor
on what they're
awards,
saying,
if I
as I'm
remember
focusing
correctly.
on-
It's so sweet of you to mention it,
That's
but I
okay.
really am not
I'm
in it
stupid.
for the awards.
So
Although
don't get me wrong.
those 3 little statues do take pride of place on my mantelpiece.
With all the others, I'm sure. So, if you're not doing it for the awards, what is it then that drives you?
Oh, that is a beautiful question, Megan, and not easy to answer. Like you, I'm afraid. Cut me, and I will bleed. And often, that's how it feels, doesn't it? doesn't it? Bleeding, giving, suffering for one's audience. I suppose in the end, I do it for the difference it makes. I do it for the people that I inspire, the little people. But most of all, I think I do it for the positive change that I can bring about in the world.
And today, of course, we're in for some real change, it looks like, in the coming few months. What do you make of this historic election result?
Oh, well. Well, now you're asking. Historic election result. Indeed, historic is the word. Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Very difficult. But I think I've always been quite clear that when it comes to politics, that one should always strive to not fuck things up.
Yes, well...
Sorry, I said fuck.
No.
I'm really... apologies.
Well,
Sorry.
Lawrence, I believe you brought in a clip from The Medicated, which opens next week around the country. Lawrence, do tell us what's going on here.
I'd be delighted. This is a really pivotal scene where my character, Dr. Lance Hemlock, is faced with a decision that could affect humanity's very survival.
Exciting stuff. Let's take a look.
And we're out.
Rob, get the car. We're out of here.
Mr. Blundercatch.
No! I'm shutting this down. What kind of operation are you people running?
Mr. Blundercatch, I understand you're upset, but we can...
Upset? You don't know the half of it. Rob! I'll be at the Dorset. Send up a bottle of scotch and a whole ham. It's in my contract.
It's in my contract.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just had to. I had to. Well, go on then. Say it.
What?
I told you so.
Your hair looked nice.
See, this is why you're single.
That's mean. That was mean. Let's do one more day. You arrive home to find posts on the mat, most mean nothing more than the usual junk mail. Catch your eye. The team wants to know. It's a form from the advanced government asking information on all citizens. The first page is filled in already. Your name. Your spouse. I'm married. I have 2 kids! Right? Are less free to complete. They appear to be mandatory. You would... ease myself in and orient yourself with my new workplace. Different department has confided in you that they've been taking home confidential information. Now a file of minor importance has gone missing. You would recommend that he reports it. That's the question they're looking for. Charge point was fired today for consistent underperformance. Your boss has put in place intelligence that's significantly higher than the previous ones. Leave work on time. Fuck staying late. If I have a family, I need to get home to my family. Barbecue. You and your family have been invited. You. Nice out with friends and family. Your hair that day. Washing my hair. If I'm free, I'll go, but I wouldn't mind missing it. Speech. I have a retirement speech? Yeah. Like to relax alone. Rallies. I would actually, if I am this guy, I have kids. I want to support my children with their hobbies. Okay, my ideal how to get away. Share the daily grind. I like 3 out of the 4. But I wouldn't say a tropical island paradise. You can have a romantic getaway with any of these. I think challenge. Oh, here's a good one. It is most important that the government keeps people. Shouldn't it be all of these? Safely, happy, and equal? Sorry, Nicolette, I didn't mean to wake you. What does this imply? If it should be all 4 of these. This is a hard decision. Because I can say equal, but then something that's not going to be happy for you safe. Why can't it do all 4? I know the American government can't do any of these right now, and usually never has. But besides that, yes, Nico? What do you think, baby? Hold on, Nicoletta. You alright? My cat has decided to come and ask for lovin's. I love you, Nico. Wanna lay with me? I'm not that stressed, baby. Alright, so do you think... What do you think, Nico? Let's think. I wanna... Only on my lap. Go ahead, baby. Safe, free, happy, equal. I feel like if any of these questions really matter, it's this one. Does free mean we won't be spied on? What? I wish this was more equality? I'm gonna say equality. Sign my name, sure. It's late. Sam and the kids have gone to bed. You're just drying up a favorite coffee cup, a worn-out souvenir of your first trip together. Still makes you smile. They're in the garden, clutching a garden yarn, green suitcases. Chris, Sam's sibling. Let them in. They set the table, visibly stressed. What's going on? But I need a favor, and you're the only one I can ask. Should I go get Sam? Don't you worry, Sam. It's you I came to see. I just need 2 minutes. Assets and Wild Act. They were talking about it. How shit's gonna not be in offshore accounts. You know what? I'm gonna say, pass me by. It's screwed up right now. They're taking people's hard-earned money to fund the lazy. not saying the top 1% or whatever don't have stupid money, because that's basically, but they can afford it. People like me, we're going to lose everything, and that's why I'm here. Why do you think I'm not going to like this? What do you mean it's funding the lazy? So that's what I need to borrow your passport. What for? Take in mind half the bloody countries, but people always say you and I look similar, so... That's weird! My wife's brother and I look very similar. That doesn't imply anything. It's too late. Once I'm out, me and my money will be safe, but I need to go now before they freeze my accounts. I wouldn't ask if I had any other choice. It can't be that serious. I'll always unite by you and Sam and treat your children like you're my own. My family's Alright, let's help him if it's that bad. You climb the stairs to your bedroom. Awake Sam, who is cocooned in the duvet, as usual. You open the wardrobe, unlock the safe retrieve passport. Surface wakes sense. Alex, what's going on? Chris is leaving the country and needs my passport. So they're taking a lot of people's money and asset. If they're taking the top 1% and just billing the 1%, that's okay, but if the government's taking everything from everyone to help people, doesn't mean that they're lazy. There's a lot of people who have disorders and whatnot in which they can't really function in normal society. They need things like welfare and social security to get by. But with this, I don't know. Is it so bad with this act that they're taking from normal people as well? Not just the top? Hearing Sam part, their family has always been close. Oh, family do it. I'll be back up in a minute. You close the safe and head back downstairs. Find Chris at the table, fidgeting. They jump up as soon as you enter the kitchen. So, have you got it? Good luck with everything, man. Time Chris smiles. It's infectious. Thanks, I really appreciate this. Touch with I'm safe out of the country. Chris takes his passport and a breathing sigh of relief grabs the non-fluorescent suitcase. Heads out into the night. Why is this suitcase fluorescent? Like, it's weird that they focused on the fluorescent part of the suitcase. But alright. The Fallout.
Let's load up the adverts. You might want to have a bit of a think about it. Your decisions have consequences, don't they?
Let's fuck things up, Mr. Snugglebugs! Twist, crazy meals. That says should be played. I don't like the little things they have, which I'm assuming is the company. I don't like the whole eye. Well, this one says should be played, so we shouldn't play it. Let's make this as dark of a reality as possible.
Right, you can see they finally got the old headline system up and working again, and the Vision Mixer's already in headline mode, because headlines always come at the start. It's really simple, mate. These two buttons at the bottom of the Vision Mixer, you can see they now have A and B on them, and they're to help you pick image A on the left bottom screen here, or image B on the right bottom screen here. It's really simple. This little clock here will count down the number of seconds you have to make your decision. Provided you make a decision in that time, you're fine, and you can change your mind as much as you want until the clock reaches 0. But if you don't make any decision, you'll be fired before you even get to make another choice. I just want to say one more thing, mate. The pictures you choose to show of these people, well, that's how the public is going to perceive them, and that's going to affect their lives. So like with the adverts, choose carefully.
No,
and we're off. Good luck, mate. If I get time, I'll call you back in the next break. Yeah, I'm coming, darling.
My friend Janet says theirs gets really hot.
Is this Janet who thinks dogs have their own secret language?
Yeah, the one that mistrusts the moon. 10 seconds, everybody.
Not the best source of consumer advice, then.
Don't blame me when it explodes. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Time to go over to Jeremy Donaldson for tonight's National
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main headlines tonight. Destination unknown. At the end of Advance's first full week in office, we ask exactly who's leading this charge. Tonight, I'll be discussing what the new future might hold with a leading economist and radical free thinker. With the Assets and Wealth Act on the brink of raising living standards for the vast majority of the country, I'll be asking my guests if we're on the way to a new future. Out with the old, Remington's Fist have appointed Sophia Remington as their new CEO. The following photo, taken from our archive, gives us a sense of this influential young firebrand who, at the tender age of 23, becomes the youngest female CEO in history. Sophia Remington's appointment is a risk for the giant mega corporation. Sophia, as our regular viewers will be aware, has always been a wild child and has been romantically linked to several movie stars and sports personalities. In her first press conference this afternoon, Sophia announced a children's toy named Mr. Snugglehouse. Sophia promises it'll be all the rage this Christmas, but concerns have been raised about the product's safety. Making a splash. Intrepid scientist Dr. David Ward and marine biologist Ingrid Swarsborg-Horgan
I like them back to
have
back.
today set off to explore Dante's Taint. The recently discovered cave system was previously thought unreachable, but thanks to a new breakthrough in underwater flower technology, the pair hope to successfully reach the imposing central cavern and the undiscovered plant species it contains. This is, of course, only the latest in a series of successful expeditions for this unlikely pairing. In a joint statement about the dangers their team might face, the pair stated, "We will face the plentiful challenges together like we always have." Playing the field, rumours abound as sporting legend Johnny Hamsleeves is snapped leaving Bush, one of the capital's hottest clubs. The footballer was caught while out celebrating being named Sports Personality of the Year last week, as reported by this very programme. And judging from the angle and velocity of that spray, it looks like Johnny may have been celebrating a little bit too much. I certainly wouldn't want to be his dry cleaner.
Yes.
And grievous bodily charm. With Advance promising a radical new position on crime, how afraid should we actually be? I'll be going live around the country to talk with people who've seen the criminal justice system from every perspective. With more and more powers passing to the police, and less oversight. Are we using an advanced-shaped sledgehammer to crack a nut? All that and mega more with a group of young actors already experiencing the positive side of the new Assets. And they'll be talking and performing later. That's all. National Nightly News.
God damn. They're getting a new guy in there, getting them ready.
swift enactment of the Assets and Wealth Act, we're talking about Advance's first week in office and what the new future holds. Joining me are Katie Brightman, a leading economist, and Alan James, author of Alan James is Right, The Free Man's Guide to Waking Up. Alan, the government certainly haven't dragged their heels for delivering some of the legislation they promised. But what does the Wealth Act mean for us?
Nothing, Jeremy. We're still vassal slaves, we're just in prettier cages.
A confident dismissal there. Katie Brightman, do you agree?
I'm afraid I don't, no. I think that Advance have realised that the current economic system of unlimited, unending growth is untenable, so they're changing things up.
There I agree with you. They're moving to the next steps in the grand plan.
Grand plan, Alan?
It's all in my book. Alan James is right, Jeremy. We're to become the great herd, ignorant, sterile, and short-lived. That's what they want.
Or perhaps Advance have just realised that if we carry on the way we are, we will destroy ourselves and this planet in a mad orgy of consumption, if you'll excuse the colourful metaphor.
Yes, orgy is the right word. Only it'll be the overlords having an orgy on our poor broken backs. It's all in my book. Alan James is...
Shamelessly self-promoting? Katie, how do you think the rest of the world will respond to this new approach?
I think they're watching carefully. Advance are the most disruptive threat that the world powers have faced since the last Great War.
Yes, Katie's right. War is inevitable.
Thank you, but that isn't...
And this will not be a war like we've ever seen before. We're talking millions of deaths. We're talking high-tech weapons that can level entire cities. We're talking...
Out of the wrong orifices?
Mock me all you like, Jeremy, but when they murder your parents and they poison your food and they take you away to their camps for hypno-brainwashing, we'll be laughing then.
That might be a great way to sell books, Alan, but you know full well that isn't going to happen in a democracy.
Democracy is dead.
Yes, Advance are radical, and change is always frightening, but the truth is that the Wealth and Assets Act has made more than 90% of the population wealthier and is on target to produce a permanent end to poverty.
Bollocks! What this young lady doesn't understand, Jeremy, is that these are the same people. Maybe they've rebranded, but it's all a little circus act to keep us from seeing the tyrant behind the curtain.
That's where you're wrong, Alan. For a start, they've mobilised the youth vote like we've never seen before.
You say mobilise, I call it grooming. The grooming of an entire generation to walk happily into eternal bondage. They're like psychic paedophiles.
But based on
God
the
damn.
facts. Katie, what are your predictions?
The Assets and Wealth Act is only the first step. Advance now have a historic budgetary surplus, and as well as properly funding our public services, they're already funneling unprecedented amounts into scientific research and the arts.
Or, as I call them in my book, Frankenscience and opiarts. Like opiates, see?
Can we get back to the issue at hand, please, Alan?
This is the issue.
Alan,
it's all
you're
coming from
an
the water,
asshole.
the chemicals, they're pumping it full of belief juice.
Don't get me wrong. I
Belief
want these
juice?
things, Only if they're sustainable. If Advance lose their power after spending half of our GDP on dismantling infrastructure, that could be catastrophic.
The catastrophe is that they're succeeding. They've got us sat here talking about their puppet show.
All right, we're running out of time. Quickly, Alan, what does the future look like to you?
A bleak space where we've all been figuratively sodomized into submission.
No, of course. Katie?
We might be on the eve of a brave new world. God knows we need some change, but we need to be cautious. Let's walk forwards with our eyes open.
Two very different visions of the future there. Alan James, Katie Brightman, thank you for joining me. When we come back, I'll be investigating law and order before Megan meets some beneficiaries of the Assets and Wealth Act. That's all coming up tonight on the National Nightly News.
1 minute back.
You know,
Oh, mate, Christ, I'm absolutely fucking fine, I tell you. How's it going? Actually, fuck it, I don't care, I hate the fucking news. Oh, bloody hell, I love this tune, though. All right, mate, see you later, bye!
I can't understand it for you.
Well, I don't know what she meant by that.
I wish I heard. Fuck the guy.
I'm just saying I'll do what I can.
Oh shit, you will. She's good. You know she is.
So I put a word in, that's all I can do.
10 seconds, everybody.
If that sticks,
Bring
I'll
in
just
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. In our second segment, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the state of law and order in our country. Advance have already tasked what they are calling a solutions team.
1 second. Give me 1 second. Alright, I'm back. Sorry. I had to make sure.
To move this serious social problem to the top of the list. Tonight, we go behind the headlights to meet the people who live with the criminal justice system every day of their lives. First up, we have Gregory Judge, a lawyer who sees the problems close up on the front line. Can you hear me, Gregory?
Yes, I've got you, Jeremy. Thanks for having me.
What's it like on the front line of the hard face of the cold hand of justice?
Well, as you can imagine, Jeremy, we are massively understaffed in this country. We're working every hour we can just to try and cope with the caseloads on our desks.
Which must affect the quality of support you can offer.
Well, we can barely keep up with demand, Jeremy. There just simply isn't enough being done at a systemic level to relieve the problem.
Greg?
We need more support from ministers. We need change at a structural level,
I'm
Jeremy.
leaving, Greg.
Not a good time, darling.
His
It never
wife is
it?
leaving him.
I'll be at my mother's.
Just hang on. The problem isn't a local one, Jeremy. It's nationwide. Just give me 5 minutes. I'm talking to Jeremy Donaldson.
Oh, have you mentioned your affairs?
No. Well, the affairs of the Justice Department that we should be concerned about.
He's cheating on his wife.
Hello, Mr. Donaldson.
Hello, Mrs. Judge.
We need legislation to relieve the pressure on our public
Sorry
servants.
to interrupt the news, Mr. Donaldson. Can I have a moment to tell my husband I'm leaving him?
Yes, I totally understand. Quite the picture of a burdened legal sector there. Gregory Judge, thank you for joining us. By Police Chief Constable Bob Peel, a man with a very different perspective on our nation's crime.
Sister, not from you.
When are you going to realise I'm...
Jeremy.
Greg.
You long for a return to the days when you could safely walk the streets.
I'm very aware.
Neighbours without the risk of being terrorised by some thug with a knife.
I want to know what happened
So
there.
you feel the streets simply aren't safe anymore? Where have we gone wrong, Bob?
Well, that's not a simple thing, Jeremy, but I think it all comes down to moral decay. We've diluted our culture and lost touch with what it means to be a citizen of this once great country. Also, as the vicar noted in Sunday's sermon, we probably shouldn't have banned hanging.
And to what do you attribute this moral decay?
Foreigners, gays and gypsies mainly. It's all in the Bible. Look, Leviticus clearly states that...
Oh, fuck this man.
Bugger, hang on a moment.
Oh, look at him, he got sex toy.
Delia? Delia, could you give me a little help, please, dear?
Oh.
As I was saying, Jesus didn't like immigrants much, did he?
And just to be clear, you think it's the immigrants who are responsible for the moral decay?
Absolutely, Jeremy. Back in your box, Clive. Back in your box. Delia, I really could use a little help with this.
I'm sorry, darling.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yes, I'm talking to Jeremy Donaldson. Clive, could you put him back in his box?
Clive, you know it's Wednesday. You go back in your gift space.
And
back in your gift space.
Well, it is certainly not the responsibility of the decent, good, white people of this... Oh, hold on just a moment.
Clive, this simply won't do. Naughty, naughty boy.
Clive, I am not having this again. As I was saying, Jeremy, moral decay. Crime is the responsibility of the criminal, no one else. Look, everyone has a sob story, but we don't all end up as barbarians, do we? Look, when our daughter Alice comes home with an A-, does she go on a killing spree? No, she takes 3 of her pills and hides under the stairs like a normal child.
That's not fucking normal.
Bill there, really locking down the police's position on morality for us. Interrupted. It's time to get
Shit.
Tony Dawson has recently been released from prison after police for aggravated assault, burglary, and menacing assault. He's agreed to talk to us today, which is also, I believe, his birthday. Many happy returns, Tony.
Cheers, Jez. Call me Titwank Tony. Everybody else does.
No, I'm not going to be doing that. Can you tell us what it's like in prison, Tony?
Titwank Tony. Prison's a mixed bag. Structure's quite nice, but it's a constant battle against institutionalization, as you can imagine. And obviously, Titwanks are quite hard to come by.
I'm picking up that you're not alone there, Tony.
Titwank Tony. Yeah, sorry, my friends are throwing me a surprise party. Good bunch of lads.
Okay,
I like how...
We're trying to get back to that party as soon as possible. First, let me ask you this. Do you feel that your time spent in prison helped to rehabilitate you in any way, Tony?
Tit Wank Tony. I don't think it's as easy as that, Jez. I think asking that is an oversimplification.
It sounds like it's getting quite busy there, Tony, but let's try and soldier on. Since leaving custody, have you been able to find a new job?
Yeah, all the boys are here. Big Chris, Little Chris, and Vampire Chris.
Big Chris, Little Chris, Vampire Chris. I love it.
One sec, love. Tit Wank Tony's on the news. Rehabilitation's difficult with the current system, Jez. It's just not set up for it, you know? It's inherently unjust.
He looks so done with shit.
So, do you feel tempted to... I'm sorry, who's this now?
You are joking. Chrissy Free Bollocks has only got Mr. Fancy, oh.
Tit Wank.
Not now, fellas, I'm on the news.
It seems like we've caught you at a bad time.
I can't really hear you, mate. It's getting a bit busy here.
Yes, we
That
seem
is
to
a
be
good
losing the
party.
signal here, Tony.
Fucking way, Las Bolitas!
Well, we're just trying to get that signal back. I think we... Yes? Tony? Tony, I mean, we're literally away for 2 seconds. How has this happened, Tony? Can you hear me? Well,
He about to get some good shit.
Tony thought there was. Hopefully you, the viewer at home, have managed to gain a broader understanding of the serious and complex issues around law and order.
Alright.
After the break, Megan will be live with some lucky young thespians. Don't go away. We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back, everybody.
Mate, I ain't got long and I'm quite drunk. It's been a great night. In this next section, there's a bit of music. If you edit in time with the music, you can see the result on the Vision Mixer, and the public will love that. Don't worry if you don't, though. You won't get punished for it or nothing. Just try and stay in the groove. Also, one last tip. When the music starts, turn down the broadcast volume. Right, enjoy the music bit. God, I love music. God, I'm so pissed. I think I might go and throw up in a bit.
What?
Look, it's alright, I've got this.
I'm sure it's on his way.
Come on, it's welcome back. How hard can it be?
This is on you. 10 seconds, everybody. We're going to open on Megan. Camera 2. Going in 5.
Mr. Snugglehugs in stores now.
3.
I should have paid attention to Mr. Snugglehugs.
Welcome, Black. I'm Megan Wolf, and on tonight's Culture Spot, I'll be chatting with one of the first beneficiaries of the Assets and Wealth Act, a team of inspiring young people from Scritchford Sixth Form College, who today received a grant from Advance to take their play, Hey, Friendship, on a tour of local secondary schools. Welcome to you all. Well, let's start with you two, Harriet and Charlotte Winstanley-Hamilton. Girls, you must be thrilled.
We are, Megan. We're overwhelmed, to be honest.
And I believe you two are sisters, is that right?
Yes, Charlotte's my oldest.
I'm the older, more popular one. Only joking.
Harriet and Trey were really the ones who came up with the whole
Huh.
idea.
So, Harry and I were shooting the breeze in the cafeteria, and I said, hey, let's actually do something.
So I went to look for a drama teacher.
But she'd been laid off due to budget cuts. Fortunately, I directed a pantomime when I was at university, so I knew the ropes, as it were.
Oh, right, yes, but you're the maths teacher, aren't you?
Yes, that's me, Jeff Algebra, maths teacher.
Jeff
Maths is
Algebra.
really important. Oh, thanks, Steve. Maths is really important. Yeah, thanks, Steve.
As is theatre. It's one of the oldest art forms in history. Aristotle
I
believed.
just think that when we travel around all these problem schools and the poor kids see us, they say, hey, I really
Poor
want to be
kids.
like those attractive kids. And that's a very
Fuck these
beautiful
people.
and powerful thing.
Look how sad she looks.
And they touch us right back.
I suppose with a surname like Algebra, there was really only one choice of career for me. My wife, Angela, and I, we often laugh about it.
Angela Algebra.
Yes.
We just want to bring a bit of song and joy into people's lives.
And teach people about the difficult issues. The issues in the play are what really matter.
And I think you're going to be showing us an extract from this play, aren't you?
That's right. To put into context, I play a young first year who's having some troubles at school.
Her character doesn't actually have a name, yeah, because in a way she's like all of us.
It's like a metaphor. Maybe she's you at home, or like, maybe she's you.
Her bored face.
Really important. Yeah, thanks, Steve. Put it in, Coach. Yes, thanks, Steve.
Right, well, I'm going to have a little chat with your teacher while you run off and get ready. I can't wait to see it. That's it, that way. So, Jeff, when did you first hear about grants?
2 days ago. A letter from Advance arrived at the school. Now, the headmaster thought it was all a prank, but his secretary retrieved it from his bin and brought it to me.
Wow, how did you react?
I also threw it in the bin. But then, Harriet and Trey rescued it, and they rang the number at the bottom of the page, and next thing you know, we're on tour.
Wow. Well, I think we can all guess which way you'll be voting from now on.
Do you know what? It's funny, because Angela and I don't usually vote. We're not very political. I'm a mathematician, of course, and she's a paraplegic, mainly. But we did used to
A
watch
paraplegic?
Peter Clement's DIY show back in the day. And so we thought, why not? Let's have a go with this whole democracy thing.
Okay.
And here we bally well are.
Good stuff.
Fucking brilliant!
So, let's have a look at a short section of Hey, Friendship.
Dear Diary, I'm not sure I can take another day at this school. Another day of tears. Another day of fears. But still I walk the corridors alone. Dreading what might be around every corner.
What's around the corner? What's around the corner? What's around the corner?
Oh, hi Gary.
Oh, heavens no! It's Gary the Fist!
Gary the Fist!
Going somewhere, little first year?
Great! I've been looking for some poor victim to bully all morning. But will this make me feel better about my violent father?
Excuse me, I'm late for maths. It's my favourite subject. And so important.
Maths is for losers. What? Maths is for losers.
My arm's stuck, coach.
Just keep going for fuck's sake! Right, maths is for losers. Now, give me your lunch money.
Double lunch for me today, but why am I only truly happy when I'm eating?
What the fuck is this?
Not today, Gary the Fist.
What do you mean not today? Who are you? Oh, my arm's free, coach. Brilliant, keep going. Right, who are you to stand up to me? I'm Gary the Fist, and you're just a sad little girl with 2 gay dads who's all alone.
That's where you're wrong, Gary the Fist. These are my 2 new friends. Vanessa is captain of the netball team. Yeah. And Blake owns a motorbike.
Yeah.
But I can't fight all 3 of you, and I don't have any friends of my own.
Take a look at me. Take a little look at my face. I could be you. She could be you. And you could be me.
Or you could be me.
What the fuck is this dumb shit?
Life can be cheeky. If you work as a team.
It's my choice to remain. So stop now, make a different choice.
I would not be a good cameraman selecting what to do.
Hey, listen up, I won't take no crap. Who said middle class girls can't rap? I ain't afraid of your cruel laps. I'm a mother-loving rebel, but I still love maths.
This is the guy to focus on.
Hey, kids, I'm Gary the Fist. People think that folks like me probably shouldn't exist, but that's just prejudice, and I'd do better if you knew the way that I became Gary the Fist. I grew up on a council estate. The park was hip, but the flats weren't great. My dad used to come home drunk and late, and he'd hit my mum for dinner, he had to wait. Where's my dinner?
It's not ready.
Go.
again.
Hitting women is wrong.
I guess life's pretty hard on a council estate. 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 Life's pretty hard on a council estate.
I hate this.
Pretty hard on a council estate. It's so damn hard on a council estate.
Life can be peachy keen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That guy is so sick of shit.
Just work as a team.
It's your choice to be me.
It's my choice.
So stop now, make a different choice.
Listen to that inner voice.
Friendship!
Yes!
Well, thankfully that's all we have time for tonight on the National Nightly News. Join us tomorrow night for all the headlines from across the country. My name's Jeremy Donaldson. Have a peaceful night.
And we're out.
What the literal fuck was that?
I believe that was art.
I believe I've got a full.
Oh shit, I played the Alan James video.
I have a similar belief about an adequate paycheck.
Oh, someone please get these twats out of my studio.
Alright.
Hello, mate. I see they've got the store back. That's great. I love fucking shopping. Sorry. Bit of a big night, to be honest. Anyway, over here, that's how much money you've got. You'll get more money the better the broadcast you do. These tabs take you to the bits and pieces and sections of the store. You can fix stuff, you can upgrade stuff, or you can just buy really cool stuff to put around the studio. Right, mate, and the final thing you've got to know, if you want to buy something, you just click on it and go ka-ching. Nah, but there's no refunds. No refunds, so take care, make sensible decisions. Don't be like that.
And I'm
Alright, well, we're gonna stop here for now.
Good evening. I am Jeremy Donaldson.
But I like that game. We'll do more another time. Thank you for watching Not for Broadcast.